to the Social Plug Podcast.
What's up, everybody? I am Johnny Martinez, and you are plugged in to the Social Plug Podcast, where we are connecting you every day to level up and where we discuss ordinary people doing extraordinary things. We are always powered by Social Plug Media. I have an awesome engineer. The guy's J-Rock. What's up, J-Rock?
What's up, guys? Woo. Ready to get after
Look
it
at
again.
that guy,
Let's
man.
Go.
He's got some
the sparkly things, bro.
Sparkly things. It was just the 4th of July the other day, and I think he's still hung up on 4th of July because he's got sparklies and he's got gold.
I like how I can go out there and just choose different backgrounds, bro. I love this stuff.
Cool.
Hey, we're next level over here on the Social Plug Podcast.
Let's go.
So today's podcast is sponsored by Double Shot Sports Bar and Grill in New Braunfels, Texas. This is not your average sports bar. It all started as a backyard barbecue conversation between a few friends. Double Shots comes from a deep community root, and they have a need to serve the community. Together, Austin, Hannah, JP, and Katie have decades of experience navigating the industry and a desire to create a New Braunfels, Texas bar like no other. You can find them at Fry Height Village in New Braunfels or at doubleshots.com. Today is a great show. We got a great guest. I feel like working out today, J-Rock.
Do you now?
I feel real, like I'm into fitness today.
Okay.
And I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay.
So
bring out the muscles, huh?
Let me show you this. So I'm gonna.
Oh, okay.
I'm working out over here.
The weight today.
I got the weights.
I see you.
And we got special guest Paige Steakley.
There she is. Okay.
So,
what's up, Miss Paige?
Paige is she's an entrepreneur. Welcome, Paige, to the Social Plug Podcast.
Thank you.
She's a fitness trainer and a coach, and she's also an actress. She's got an upcoming movie that we'll talk about. It's called Sacred Mask. How cool is that? J-Rock, you got a movie coming out?
Unfortunately, I don't. Got these OnlyFans, feet.
Oh, dang.
I got those foot, videos. That's about it.
Do you paint your nails, J-Rock?
No, I don't paint my nails.
No, do you get
that
a
was
pedicure?
A joke, by the way, Paige. That was such a joke.
No,
She's like,
know.
"Oh, this dude's got a freaking OnlyFans."
I was just playing along.
Hey, you never know today.
Yeah.
I mean,
you do know. You never know. That's right. You never know.
People have all kind of things
crazy,
going on.
Man.
But hey, I heard you like the pedicure there.
Yeah, I get like one a year, bro.
Dude, do they got the buzzsaw on your nails? Like
hey, what movie's that on?
Dumb and Dumber, man.
Dumb and Dumber, right? Where he's like trying to like.
Yeah, the big old shears to clip bushes.
Dang. Dude, I like to think that I'm a horrible diva when it comes to my feet, bro. I don't know what it is.
Man, I've seen your feet.
What do you mean? They're not bad.
They're not good.
No, they're not bad. They're not good. He said. That's hilarious. No. Yeah.
So we're gonna have fun today. Paige, welcome again.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to everybody out there watching the Social Plug Podcast. What do you got going on?
Well, yeah, like you mentioned, I am a fitness and nutrition coach here in New Braunfels, but I train people all over the world. For example, I've had one client in China, another in Japan, and then all over the U.S. And yeah, I'm an actress as well. I have a couple of films, or several films that I've been in, but one upcoming one called Sacred Mask, which is a wrestling film, so I'm super excited about that.
So that's gonna make J-Rock really happy. I heard him say the
I'm
little
excited.
woo over there.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
When Paige was going through this, I guess her phase of training and stuff. That's how it kind of met you at that time too. Correct, right, Paige?
Well, not met, but that's when we started interacting with each other more.
For sure. And so I've been excited. It's been about a good man. When did y'all shoot that, Paige?
Dang, we started in 2019, and then of course the whole COVID thing happened in 2020, so there was a break there. We ended up losing some footage, so we had to refilm some things in 2021. But yeah, we wrapped production in 2021, but it's just been a long editing process and all that stuff because it's an indie film. And oftentimes what happens when there's not a ton of money backing something, it takes longer to finish everything. But I'm really proud of the film, and I'm excited for everybody to see it.
Heck yeah, man. No, I'm excited because, again, I love whenever anybody can just do a wrestling movie.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little underrated, as always with pro wrestling. So anybody that can do something like that, that's awesome. So I'm excited. So
Thank you.
So the training process, how was the training process? I mean, obviously, you know, if you can give a shout out to the guys you worked with in San Antonio, but how was that in being introduced to that part of pro wrestling?
Yeah. So it's really interesting because I wouldn't say I've always wanted to do a form of pro wrestling because I was introduced to it very, very late. Probably maybe a few years prior to me actually filming Sacred Mask. I just like felt this passion rise up in me for like wanting to do something like that. And I prayed about it and I was like, God, like, you know, I want to act, but like it would be freaking amazing if I could do some wrestling. And then lo and behold, like I get cast for a wrestling film. And I had to do 4 months of wrestling training, and it was at Hybrid School of Wrestling, which is based in San Antonio. Highly recommend them.
These guys are awesome.
Super professional and really great. Anyway, so, you know, I'm pretty used to doing like sporty things, physical things, so I tend to adjust to learning stuff like that pretty quickly. But yeah, the first 2 weeks were probably the hardest. Because, like, I may have, like, a freaking ton of strength, but, like, don't have the best of cardio. But thankfully, like, you know, adaptations like that happen pretty quickly. But
the cardio's different in pro wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, I don't care how, like you said, you're strong, you're in shape, but the cardio's different because when you land, you know, you have to get right back up depending on the situation, and your body has to get used to that. And when you land on your back and you're doing that, how many? I mean, do you remember how many times? Like maybe like probably 100 times, right? And one.
Yeah, tons of bumps.
Right?
But your body gets used to it.
Gets used to it, yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, the first 2 weeks were the hardest, and I definitely had a sore neck for a while. But
So you did your own stunts and everything was you.
Everything.
You didn't have a fill-in.
No, not at all. Like everything that you're gonna see in the film, I did absolutely everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was a blast too. So
that is so cool.
Super thankful for the process.
So when you're getting this, oh my gosh, when you're getting the script, and everything, like what does it say? Like you're gonna be like you're gonna wrestle physically. Like how does the script even throw it at you?
Every script varies in terms of like how detailed they get in terms of the action that occurs. But yeah, it wasn't scripted out like how like what my matches were gonna look like. We basically like made them up on the spot, which is like really scary to me.
But that's the best way to go, though.
It can be, but like the way that my brain works, like I like to prepare, like, and I like to fine tune everything. But yeah, that's one thing that like wrestling really taught me and made me more comfortable with, is being comfortable with not winging it, but like trying to bring excellence out of like improving something that I'm used to preparing for.
Yeah, that's what pro wrestling is. A lot of improv, though.
It's super
you know,
impressive.
whether you're on the mic or in the ring, like it's you and this other person, maybe sometimes three, depending on the situation. You're working with them, and you're just it sounds crazy, but you're almost play fighting. Like, all right, let's see what you're gonna do. All right, let's see what you're gonna do.
I didn't know that coming into wrestling, but once I learned that, it gave me a deeper appreciation for what they do.
That's what's up.
So were you a heel or a hero? Good guy, bad guy, bad gal, good gal?
In the film, definitely a face, so a hero.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like would you like to be a bad guy or bad?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Well, okay, so I like doing different things. So I like playing, good characters, but there's something special about playing an evil character or, a heel that's like very, I don't want to say cathartic, because then that's like I'm a bad person, but I'm not. But it's exciting. It's fun. It's something different. You're basically playing someone that you're not, which is just more exciting.
You know what's cool about acting? There's certain movies that actors are heels or villains, and I still can't stand them today when I see them in another movie.
Yes.
I said, that guy's an asshole. I can't stand him. So, for instance, The Green Mile. You seen The Green Mile?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember Percy?
Oh.
One of the guards?
Yeah.
That's the one that
who stepped on the mouse?
Yeah.
I hate that damn guy.
You hate that guy?
I'll always hate that guy because of that movie. So he was he was amazing as a villain in that role. So there's others. Shooter McGavin, maybe on Happy Gilmore.
Shooter
No, I'm
McGavin,
kidding. I'm
right?
kidding.
Yeah, I thought, oh my God, the guy that's in the airplane died a long time ago, Richie Valens, La Bamba.
Oh yeah.
So growing up, when I saw that movie, and he dies and all that stuff.
Did you cry, J-Rock, by the way?
Oh yeah, I cried because I know what's going on, right?
All right.
Yeah, I cried. And then this is why it pissed me off, because then I'm like, then we see him because we used to watch Monday Night Raw all the time, of course, and it was on USA. Then we see him playing this detective. I'm like, wait a second.
He died.
This guy died. I told my dad, this guy died. And he's just like, it's an actor. And that's when I started to get it. I'm like, I was mad though.
How old are you, man?
What do you mean, how old am I?
How old were you when you didn't know that this guy was an actor?
Dude, I was young, bro. Super young. And then again, I was just so gullible. Like, my parents didn't tell me, I guess, stuff like that either.
We still got to explain stuff to J-Rock on how life works and how things work. I was like, it's
right.
And that's a whole nother podcast. So let me ask you this about, so you have an agent or somebody who was looking out and said, hey, Paige, we got this opportunity coming up. And how does that even work? How does behind the scenes work to get you a role like that?
Yeah, so I do have an agent, but I actually got this role myself.
Nice.
So it was just through connections that I knew. They reached out to me, and I said yes, and then the negotiations went through my agent from there.
Yeah.
That's typical for acting.
So relationships, and we'll talk about relationships here in a bit. But let's talk about your fitness journey and your coaching and your and all these different things you do. So where do you train? So you mentioned earlier you train somebody in China and Japan. So you do online training, like a Zoom call?
No, not like a Zoom call. Although I do have that, but that's not like how my program works. Basically, so yeah, I have clients all over the world. So I create their program and basically send it to them, and they have like a one-on-one interaction with me in terms of is their form okay? Are they working out the correct way? Meaning how's their intensity?
Because technique is huge. If you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Technique in terms of safety is big, obviously, but what makes my program special is I don't just watch how safely you're performing, but how effectively you're training. Because the way that my program works, I basically deliver results where you only have to lift 2 times a week. But in order for that to be effective, you have to work out a certain way. And so that's what I watch for whenever I train my clients.
So what are some of the programs that you offer?
So my coaching is all inclusive. I'm certified fitness instructor and nutritionalist. So I do custom training, custom nutrition, custom supplementation. I even create a custom schedule for you because I know everybody has an extremely busy life, and I like to problem solve and be okay, so based off of your schedule, this would be a great time for you to work out. There's flexibility around it, but what I'm saying is it's all inclusive. I cover everything that you could think of that relates to fitness and health.
So could you make 2 guys like me and J-Rock? Can you turn us into what we are now and give us 6-pack abs or 8-pack abs or anything like that? Or is it just too late? Is it just too late? You'd be like, you 2 goons, it's too late for you guys.
No,
How does it work?
It's never too late. Yeah, it's never too late. So yeah, absolutely could deliver something like that.
So for somebody like us, we eat chips and salsa.
Mm-hmm.
We might partake in a little bit of fun, maybe some margaritas, things like that. You'd probably say, and I already know, lay off the sugar, lay off the carbs, lay off these different things that are toxins and poison to your body. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, as far as the diet and nutrition goes, what do you recommend?
To an extent, I believe when it comes to getting the best results, lifelong sustainability is the biggest factor. So you're not going to be able to sustain something for the rest of your life if it's extremely strict. So I will analyze some health issues, like mineral deficiencies, things like that, and I'll give you recommendations hey, for a time, because you have these health struggles, let's back off of some certain things, maybe back off on some alcohol, back off on some processed foods, But once we get you healthier, then we can reintroduce those things in a balanced way that you can sustain.
Did you hear that, J-Rock? All right, she gave you some free advice.
Is that what it was
Here.
right there? That was for me?
That was
Okay.
for you. and me. I think I'm in denial. All right, so
That's the first step, getting past the denial part.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
yes,
I've been
yes.
having a lot of issues with that lately, actually.
So food, right? I believe food affects you more than alcohol and cigarettes. Cigarettes are horrible, so is alcohol. But I think food affects people in so many negative ways. Is it has toxins. It's been proven to create cancer.
Mm-hmm.
It's been proven to create diabetes and all these other things. What's one of the worst things that you can put in your body,
Food-wise?
food-wise?
Worst things would be, processed foods. So one thing I specialize in is gut health, and there unfortunately are a lot of very common additive ingredients that are not like natural, so to speak, or you wouldn't, like in nature, you wouldn't consume them in
Like
those amounts.
Coca-Cola, maybe something like that.
Yeah, so something
Saccharin.
like citric acid is, it can basically eat at your intestinal lining and your stomach lining. Like, for example, that's something that you would want to avoid. But that's more like the nitty gritty of it. But
Like
in
oranges?
general,
Is that oranges and
no,
lemons?
so citric acid, it actually, so most times when they extract citric acid, it's actually comes from a mold. So
Fun fact.
yeah, but yeah, it can be very detrimental to gut health, and then that can lead to other problems down the road.
I'm pretty sure, Paige, a lot of people that you get, obviously the number one thing is always food, right?
Yeah.
And I heard this the other day, which was really, that hit me pretty hard, was like, you can be in an addict, like let's say you're a gambling addict, right? What do? You just stay the hell away from poker games, you stay away from the casino, you stay away from places that you don't go and gamble, right? Well, if you have an eating disorder, like everybody loves food, everybody's
Yeah.
addicted to food in some way. Well, you have to eat.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
No matter what happens, to survive, you have to eat. So that's what I feel has always been an issue. And when I used to be a trainer at Planet Fitness, which is totally different than what you do, but that was always an issue, was food. And that's so crazy that when you put it that way, no matter what, you have to eat.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one for people to get over when that has to be a solution for you to work out and you have to eat.
Yeah, I totally agree. So yeah, my best recommendation for that is most people just don't have the knowledge or education around food, and so that's where I step in and try to help people. And that in and of itself can be very freeing for people, like knowing what is harmful or just not as beneficial, things like that. But yeah, from there, like for example, I used to struggle really badly with binge eating. So in a way, I was like addicted to food. Not really, but in that sense, like it had control over me. And just one of the things that helped me was learning like why was I binge eating in the first place. And for a lot of people, it comes down to they diet for way too freaking long. And so their body basically kicks in starvation mode, and it like makes you like just ravenously crave food. And it's typically the worst types of foods too. So yeah, I totally know what you mean. So
yeah, because when you're throwing down that whether it's some cake or whatever, like your body's like, oh, give me more, more. But then at the end of it, your body's like, what the hell did you just do to me?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I've been trying to do my best to eat whatever my body tells me works. And I can tell like within hours, sometimes within a couple, like 30 minutes, I can tell what the food's doing to me.
Yeah.
And that's only because I've had a lot of gut problems myself. So, but it's definitely tough, and that's part of the challenge,
So you mentioned cake, J-Rock. Everybody loves cake. All right.
Everybody does.
So
I
I'm married.
I don't like icing though.
No, I love the icing.
I like
Really?
it both.
You
So-
like both? I don't like icing.
So I'm married, and my wife is always, talking about, exercising, getting in shape, and staying away from sugar and fatty foods and things like that. And we have a lot of women subscribers to our podcast. So from a woman's perspective and from a trainer's perspective, what's the hardest area of the body to work on, and how can you get it to be maximized?
Yeah. So that answer it's going to be completely different for everybody, because different people store fats in different areas of their body. And also people, like different muscle groups may grow better than other muscle groups on other people. So I really can't say for sure. In general, most people are concerned about, like in terms of fat, like losing fat around their waistline.
I know a lot of the ladies like that big old booty.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, let's just be honest. Here.
I like women's big. No, just playing.
He does.
No, I like it
J-Rock,
too. So.
and he hurts his eyes too.
That's why I wear a lot of shades.
Yes, he
Oh
wears
my God.
shades. But women like to get the big old booty. Everybody knows, it's no secret. They get a Brazilian butt lift,
It's very common nowadays. Yeah.
right? And we've gone
That's
around
scary.
and we see some unproportioned butts,
Yep.
and people are just getting these surgeries.
It's weird.
I mean, it is weird. Right? I mean, I don't know. I went to
Like,
Vegas.
did they sit like this for too long?
I don't know. I went to Vegas, and this
Did they
one
lean on
girl's
one side?
this
Go
one
ahead.
girl's butt looked like a box. And it looked like she had some blocks in her pants. I don't know. So she
She's
got
smuggling something?
Yeah, she might have had a bad BBL.
Oh no.
So
I just heard that a lady went to Mexico to go get her whatever Brazilian lift, whatever, and she got sick. Like
Oh, no.
within 2 weeks, she'd passed away because of the pesticides.
the poison that they put in your damn
and
body.
they probably didn't clean everything right in Mexico, so she passed.
That's
And
so
even
crazy.
DC Fly, young DC Fly, his wife, who's very famous, I think she's a model or something, about a month or two ago, same thing. She went and got the surgery, and she just had babies, and next thing you know, she dropped. And
That's so sad.
So let's
That's
give
right.
some advice
Scary.
to people to not pass away in Mexico.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, don't go
Instead
to
of getting a BBL, how can you get a bigger booty?
Yeah, so basically you want to conclude that fast, quick results are not always the answer, and oftentimes they can bring a lot of danger to them or prevent you sustaining them for very long, hence the dying prematurely.
I mean, it's not funny.
Yes, but I mean, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on. Use your noggin.
So yeah, you basically want to come down to the foundations, like what can you sustain for the long term, like what's healthy for you. So, the best thing for like reshaping your butt is, bodybuilding. Doesn't mean you have to like be a competing professional bodybuilder, like on stage where you're like super shredded, but it basically is bodybuilding. You are shaping your body how you want to. And so you're doing exercises that work the glutes, like squats, leg press, hip thrusts, RDLs, Romanian deadlifts, and all that stuff.
You know what an RDL is, Johnny?
A lunge, maybe?
Okay.
Well, that's what you and I were doing the other day. We were exercising before we started the last podcast. We were doing squats, lunges, push-ups, jumping jacks. We usually do that. It's a ritual so we can get ready, so we can be prepared.
Get your energy going.
Energy going. Energy is high. Confidence is high. So we can look good behind this camera here.
You can tell by my laughter that
Yeah.
we do that all the time.
Do it, yeah.
That's funny.
So you've motivated me and inspired me
Yay.
to not get a BBL and to get my ass in the gym,
Get your ass
stay
in the
away
gym.
from the carbs and the sugar, and start doing some lunges or
And the
RDLs, right?
And the Mexico.
Don't go to Mexico to get a damn
Mexico
surgery.
And I'll also say for those women, and this doesn't just apply to women, but I feel women particularly struggle with this, is they don't eat enough. You have to eat to grow muscles. So, I mean, but you obviously want to do it in a balanced way, unless you're okay with putting on some fat. But
And
So-
Paige, go ahead. I was gonna say, Paige, you're in great shape. So, like, what do you eat on a daily? And then I've heard it. I'm gonna be real with you. I had told some of my friends that we were gonna have you on, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, she's so fit. She's so
oh, thanks.
And the biggest thing is like, I'm sure you have your days where you eat whatever you want. So, but like at the same time, like, what is your diet? What is your routine like?
Yeah, so I prioritize protein. I try to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So for reference, I'm 142 pounds, so I try to eat that much protein. And yeah, I prioritize whole foods like, meats, like potatoes, rice, things like that. But, I also try to I try to grab quick things as well, because my schedule is so freaking busy, and I don't like cooking all the time. So yeah, I'll have the occasional chewy bar with peanut butter or whatever, and I'm talking about on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have those days where I'm gonna go eat out, and I'm gonna order 2 meals, a hamburger and some chicken fingers, and I'm gonna enjoy it.
So is it safe to say that we'll never find you at an all-you-can-eat buffet at damn Golden Corral?
Oh no, you will find me there.
That's awesome.
I can eat a lot. Amongst my friends, I've been known to beat all of my friends at eating competitions.
So we just had the hot dog contest. I forget his name. Joey Chestnut ate 62 dogs.
62 freaking.
Oh,
His
gosh.
stomach, I'm sure he was in the bathroom for a couple of days after that.
Yeah,
If I eat 2 hot dogs, I'm in the bathroom.
I want
Can't
everybody.
imagine that guy.
I want everybody to go look at what happens to their stomachs, man.
Oh, I
That
know.
shit scares me, yo.
Yeah.
After having diverticulitis surgery and all that, man, that shit scares the shit out of me.
So
Yeah.
so let me ask you this. Let's digress.
Okay.
So fitness is a very sensitive thing, because right now there's a lot of influencers on social media. Whenever I go on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all of them, I see these gals and these guys that are very in shape, and they look like a physical specimen that everybody should. I don't know. I'm gonna say everybody should look like.
You're welcome.
But everybody, J Rock. I mean, he's a physical specimen as well.
You're welcome.
But a lot of these fitness influencers get a bad rep, because they say, oh, they're just showing off, they're bragging. Nobody can look like that. Oh, it's because they're always working out. They have all this time to work out. I got kids over here. I don't have time.
Yeah.
Where's the line between marketing and bragging? Because that's a pretty sensitive topic, and I want to get into that.
Yeah. Well, I'll say the answer is twofold, or my opinion is twofold. The idea that, oh, I can't look like that, blah, blah, blah. I will say that more often than not, a lot of the social media influencers are on steroids, or they've had some form of surgery done, like liposuction. And surprisingly, a lot of for example, the Brazilian butt lifts, they can look extremely natural. Not all of them, of course. And then there's also photoshopping. So that happens more often than not. And me, for example, I wasn't always able to recognize when someone was on steroids. So early on in my fitness journey, I was like, oh, I can look like that person who has massive amounts of muscle. But, as I got more and more experienced and got familiar with the look, I'm like, no one can achieve that unless they take steroids. So there is that component of it. But that doesn't mean that you can't get incredible results, build significant strength, build significant muscle, and become lean naturally. But yeah, the whole basically promoting yourself or your body or image. I think that if you don't have an air about you about, being arrogant or you're the best thing ever, then it's totally fine. And I personally find it as a form of motivation and inspiration. For example, I'll post about my physique on my social media. And one reason why is because I want to inspire and motivate people to be like, you can achieve something like this without living in the gym and without dieting for the rest of your life. And 2, I basically post the sort of stuff that I want to see. Right. I find that stuff inspirational. Yeah. So
you are the billboard. Your physique, your whole aura is the product.
Yeah.
And I'm a believer that is not brag. It's marketing.
Yeah.
It's not bragging on yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
And a lot of people are hesitant, and it doesn't have to be fitness. I know a lot of business owners and individuals that are real hesitant to post their wins on social media because they look at it as a negative. Like people are going to think I'm bragging. No, it's not bragging. It's called marketing.
Yeah.
You think HEB is afraid of hurting people's feelings that they say we're the best?
Yeah.
Or anybody else? No, it's called marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I am working my ass off, eating right, doing all these things, and I'm a fitness coach, and I want people to see that I can take them from where they're from now or where they're at now and make them to look like this, that's not bragging. That's called marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're inspiring people. You are motivating them, and you're luring them in to fitness, and you're helping them. But there's always those naysayers that say, "Oh, you're bragging." No, you're not bragging. This is
Yeah.
marketing.
Well, I mean, you're always going to find people who are unhappy with something. And I think it's something that everybody has to learn, and it gets easier over time. But as you practice just being yourself and, sharing content that you like, it's just inevitable. Some people are just going to be judgmental.
I think some people too, they just don't. So like my doctor, I got mad at my mom when I was like, I think it was in middle school, and like we were trying to figure out what was going on with my stomach a long time ago. But anyway, my doctor's like, I mean, he's still a doctor, so I'm not gonna say his name. He still practices here in town, but he's like 6 foot, and he's way overweight. And this guy's telling me and my mom that I need to eat this, I need to do this. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, what? This guy is telling me what to eat, telling me to do all these things, and you're not, and you're the doctor and you look like what you look like?
Did he have a churro in his hand? A churro, whatever you call it?
Dude, he probably had all kinds of snacks before he went in there, bro. And I'm looking at my mom like, I want a new doctor. Like, how am I letting this big old fat guy tell me how to live when he's not even living that? So that's what I kind of look at it when it comes to a trainer. Obviously, if they look good, they're obviously doing something right, And one more story out of that. But the other way they can go around is I was helping this kid at Dosh Rec, and I was teaching him how to shoot. And one of the dads that's helping his son comes up to me, and he's like, "Oh, you're teaching your kid how to shoot?" And I'm like, "Nah, it's one of my students." And he's just like, "Your student? What do you mean? You don't look like you played basketball." I was like, "All right," and I'm there like, "Okay, this all right."
Here, you just challenged me to one-on-one.
So then I'm over here and I'm just showing the kid how to shoot, and I kind of just I just stopped worrying about him, and I start shooting, and I'm there, and of course my deal, my forte is teaching kids how to shoot, or teaching anybody how to shoot. So I'm there and I'm draining them shot after shot after shot after shot, and I'm telling the kid and I'm showing him, and it's just when you do that for so many years, you're good at it. And the guy comes back up to me, he's like, "All right, I want you to help me teach my kid how to shoot." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "I just saw you shoot." I'm like, don't judge a book by its cover. But again, people just look at that differently, from I want my coach to look a certain way so I can look that way, or some things like that.
I think that's a common expectation, but I don't think that that's always going to be the case. Like, for example, different people are struggling with different things, or for example, fitness. There are going to be different phases. A fitness trainer could have a bit more fat for a few months, but they could be on a bulk.
Yeah,
so I see what you mean.
Yeah, judging people.
I've been on a bulk for a little bit. Well, my doctor's been on a bulk for years.
I totally see what you mean, and I see your mindset behind that. But at the same time, I think you have to know the big picture. Are their methods working for their clients? Has that trainer ever been fit before? Versus this one specific time.
The credibility behind it.
Yeah.
I mean. So, dad bod or fitness bod?
It depends. I'd rather have...
Dad bod's a thing now.
Yeah, I'd rather have a dad bod than a bodybuilder, but I'd rather have, a power lifter body than, a dad bod, relationship-wise speaking.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
So let me ask you this.
Your your social media blew up when you did that, by
Yes.
the way, right? I
Yes.
remember
That's
when
if
you
they
did.
made it this far.
I remember when you did that. I don't remember how.
Was this
far
a thing?
long
Did
ago.
we talk about this before?
No, she
No.
posted it on her social media, dad bod or a good or whatever clean. I don't know whatever side of it. And I think you said dad bod, and you got a lot of feedback on that one, Paige. They were loving that one. Anyway,
So entrepreneur, let's go into that.
Okay.
Entrepreneur, there's a lot of things that go into being an entrepreneur. You're creating your own schedule. You are helping people. You're creating value, providing value. How has it been as an entrepreneur? So, how old are you, by the way?
I am 33.
Okay, 33 years old, young entrepreneur. Some people might not ever be an entrepreneur in their life.
Yeah.
How has it affected you with relationships, not personal relationships, but building relationships, not only in the movie industry, but in the fitness industry and entrepreneurial industry? And has it leveled you up, so to speak, just building these relationships?
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely been more fulfilling because I basically get to work with people how I want to, like under my own principles versus, working for a huge corporation and, maybe not liking everything that they do within a corporation. So there's just a lot more freedom and creativity behind it. So I feel like I can deliver a better service and product to my clients that way. So it's very fulfilling in that regard. And then also like as an entrepreneur, it simultaneously has like soaked up a significant amount of my time because I'm not just coaching, like I'm running a business as well. But at the same time, it's also given me a ton of flexibility in my schedule. So that works really well with acting.
It's a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
Some days as an entrepreneur, you feel like the world's ending. And some days you feel like you're on top of the world, like old Jack from the Titanic. I'm top of the world, right?
Yeah.
All right, and there's a Titanic reference there. All right, that's J-Rock's favorite movie, by the way. All right, so I had to fit that in.
oh
Aw,
jeez.
so
But
sentimental.
it's
Right.
ebb and flow, up and down, up and down. So it's crazy. A lot of people don't understand what goes into being a business owner and running your own marketing. Do you do your own marketing?
Yes.
So some people don't want to hire. Like I don't want to hire somebody to do my marketing for my businesses. I can do it.
I wish I could.
I can do it on my own. The only thing I wish is that I had 2 or 3 of me, like-minded, and I have J-Rock. That's why I keep J-Rock with us. So, so congrats to you and congrats to all these successes. But before you were successful, you probably had some challenges that brought you to where you're at today.
Yeah,
Can you tell us about those challenges?
Yeah, I think when it comes to like any dream that you're trying to pursue, there naturally is going to be ups and downs in anything until it matures. So it definitely has gotten easier as I have like solidified things within my business. But yeah, like struggles specifically. I mean, so like I basically do all of my marketing and in regards to my fitness online.
Like did something happen in your life where you said, screw this, I'm going to do everything on my own? Not only marketing, but just being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, fitness, all these things. What led you? Because you just didn't wake up and say, oh, I'm gonna be a fitness coach.
Yeah, it was years of being unsatisfied in a corporate job.
The 9 to 5, the mundane.
Yeah, basically.
Looking at a schedule, having somebody make your schedule for you.
Yeah. And
What did you used to do, Paige?
I've had various jobs, but like I worked at HEB for a long time. I worked for a company that like worked with banks and things like that. So it's a lot of like either basically customer service, but non-relational customer service.
So when you would sit there in that job, you're just like, what would you tell yourself? I wish I could be.
Yeah, it was mind-numbing. It wasn't challenging.
It was transactional. Probably people were just in and out, in and out.
Well, yeah, it was like basically scripted. Like you have to follow this particular way of doing things. And the way that my personality works, like I really value depth, and if like small talk happens for a very long time, it's incredibly boring and dissatisfying to me. Like, I'd rather talk about nothing versus like talk small talk.
Hey, well,
for
hopefully we're
hours.
not boring you over here,
No,
Paige.
like this is interesting. This is like has more depth to it. So this stuff I enjoy, but you can't really do something like that at jobs like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
We know what some of your strengths are. We talked about it, the
Yeah.
fitness and stuff. And I'll let you expand. If you're at a job interview right now? All right, I know you're an entrepreneur, but let's go
Yeah.
back to the 9 to 5. You're trying to get hired somewhere.
Okay.
What is your strength?
My strength is I really connect with people on a deep level. Like, for example, my clients, like I really get to know them and I work one-on-one with them, and not just like on the fitness side of things, but like just their personal lives as well.
You're relationship driven.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, like I care about depth versus like, just small talk.
And what's your weakness?
My weakness, well, I mean, I'm sure I have a few, but one thing that comes to mind is I wish that I were naturally more outgoing. Like, I would describe myself as an ambivert, like I'm a mix of introverted and extroverted. I can turn on my extroverted side.
Does it depend on the scenario or the people you're with? The vibe?
It can, but like, so I wish like just in general public, I were more outgoing. But like in situations like this, like obviously I'm outgoing. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was
J-Rock.
gonna say, so you kind of like you're not you really don't go up to people.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like if I don't have like a solid reason to come up and talk to you, I guess my mindset is like, they don't really want to talk to me, so like why would I go and do small talk with them, basically?
Because they're probably thinking the same thing.
Probably,
and you never know.
yeah.
When you have small talk with people, hey, how's the weather going? Or how's the weather going for you?
Yeah.
You never know. So I used to be kind of, I wouldn't say an introvert, but I would never have the need to go talk to people. Today, myself and J-Rock, we go talk to everybody.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And
I
we
got that out
surprise
of him.
ourselves on how many relationships we build just by saying hello, giving somebody some dab.
Yeah.
Just complimenting people on their shoes or on their shirt or their shirt, whatever. People always remember things like that.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Yeah,
that's
that's
some-
where I got it from. I was never like, I always try to be that way because from pro wrestling, you never know who knew you from it. But from hanging out with Johnny over the past 2 years now, like I've always catch myself doing that now. And
Yeah, that's something, that's
'cause,
skill that I very much so admire.
yeah, it's tough. It's sometimes I sit there and I'm like, do I want to get open? Do I have that energy right now? But sometimes it just comes out, and I feel like
Yeah,
that's what
that's
makes us
awesome.
better people.
So our last guest, episode 8, Donnie E. Current II. I just said, hey, what's going on, my friend? And I saw he had a name tag on. I said, what's up, Donnie? And then we had him on the podcast. I would have
Nice.
never known Donnie. I would have never known anything about him if I hadn't reached out and just said, hey, what's up, my man? How are you? So I think it's pretty important not to say that not talking to people is a bad thing. I mean, that's just your thing. But I found in my life and in my wife's life, because she was always a introvert as well, we've been able to build so many opportunities
Yeah.
in life and in business and everywhere else.
Yeah.
Wait,
So,
Jessica used to be like that?
Yes, Jessica
What?
wasn't always
I
outgoing
don't
and
believe
laughing,
that.
things like that. And I had to influence and motivate Jessica.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I got a question for you, Paige. So Johnny's learning that there's a lot of gamers out there, and now I think you're 3 out of 8 now that's been on this show that's a gamer now.
Okay.
So, like, have you ever wished about being in a game? You being an
Have I
actor?
ever what?
You ever wish like you could be in a game?
Video
Oh.
game,
Because
right?
a lot of actors now are in video games now.
Heck
You know.
yeah,
Yeah?
I would freaking love that.
And then what kind of game would you want to be in?
Definitely action RPG.
Okay.
Like something like Last of Us that's very character driven and you connect to the character, but they obviously like do a lot of like cool action stuff as well.
Yeah. That'd be
amazing.
pretty cool. I think that would fit you perfectly too.
I like to be in Street Fighter.
Yeah, Street
Have
Fighter.
a character. Round 1. Fight.
Honestly, I think all of it would be a blast.
Right?
Yeah.
I can see Johnny as a Street Fighter character.
But I would be a heel.
Would you
Yeah.
be? You'd be a bad guy?
I'd be throwing lasers and stuff at people.
You know, I tried to be a bad guy in wrestling. That shit is hard. It was really hard. I couldn't do it. Smile too much.
It could be an evil smile.
Right? I just didn't know how to use it back then. I was too young.
That's funny.
Paige, do you have a mentor?
Currently, no, I don't. Well, unless you consider God a mentor, then yes.
Nice.
But like a individual mentor, somebody
No.
that inspires you.
Oh, inspires? Yeah, a lot of people inspire me.
For instance,
Fellow filmmakers.
who's the most famous people you know in film
Oh, most
or
famous?
person?
I don't know. Miko Hughes. He played the little kid in Pet Cemetery.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And now he's
He's in
what,
his
40 something,
30s. No,
30s.
he's in his 30s. I met him at a horror con that I was at once, so he's really cool.
I always remember Pet Cemetery. You're talking about the original.
Yeah,
When that 18-wheeler comes and runs over the little boy, or
Yeah,
runs over
Gage.
him.
the little
Yeah.
boy Gage.
Yeah.
Bro, you just ruined it for me, bro.
You never seen Pet
I'm just
Cemetery?
playing.
Okay. I was like, you got some homework to do, my man.
She was in a horror movie too, Paige. Johnny.
What was it?
Butcher's
Butcher's Bluff.
Bluff.
Did you get murdered?
You have to watch it to find out.
Oh.
Where can I find Butcher's Bluff?
Well, the director, who was also the producer, writer / Hawkman, he was so many.
Yeah,
parts
he
of
was
the
all
film.
over the place.
Yeah, he is in the process of working with basically selling the film.
Okay. So it's
Nothing official yet.
all right. Nothing official, so we can't give
not that I
anything
can
away.
announce now.
Okay. And where can we find Sacred Mask?
Sacred Mask, my wrestling film. We are having our first screening this Wednesday, July 12th, at 10 p.m. It is in San Antonio at the Guadalupe Theater, which is downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're having our official red carpet premiere on August 3rd. And I believe that is 5 p.m. San Antonio as well. It's at Santikos Theater. I'm not sure which one
Okay.
Yeah,
off the
that
top
one's
of my
off
head, but you
I-10.
can find it on my social media.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll make sure that we follow up with that, and we'll
Yeah.
put that out for the public to go support you.
We'll be there, Paige.
Yes.
I already got our
I
tickets.
love it. Awesome.
So we
That
will
makes
be
me so
there.
happy.
We will be there for the red carpet and all that good stuff.
Heck
We're
yeah.
excited.
I'm
So-
glad.
Maybe we can get J-Rock on the red carpet too. Maybe take
Yeah.
some selfies.
Yeah.
Can I get on the red carpet?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, it's open to everybody.
There you go. We'll be on the red carpet.
So
bro.
we'll
I
make
love
we'll
it.
make J-Rock feel very special.
Good.
All right.
Yeah, you gotta
He
make me feel
deserves it.
special. There you go.
Like
Thank
we
you.
usually
Paige.
do. So Paige, where besides social media and besides on the red carpet and besides doing fitness, where else can we find you?
Besides social media
Well,
as well.
Well, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Let's find you on social media.
Okay.
Where can we do that?
Yes. So I have 2 Instagram pages. One is my personal, which is at Paige O Steak. The second one is my coaching one, which is at Physique by Strength.
Okay.
And then you can find me on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. I would just type in Paige Steakley or Physique by Strength.
You got the new threads?
I don't.
Have you tried it yet or looked
Yeah, what
into
is
it?
this
No.
tread, bro? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's the new thing. Instagram.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to spark or enlighten the battle or enhance the battle with old
Twitter.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
Trying to
it's, I think
compete
it's
with
I think it's Mark
Twitter.
Zuckerberg and
Yeah.
it's pissing Elon off and he's gonna kick
Oh,
his
is that
ass
why
even
they're gonna
harder.
fight? That's that why they're having the fight?
in the ring. Yeah.
Did you hear about that, Paige?
Is that really happening?
It's gonna happen.
Let's
That's
see
so
what happens.
cool.
So who you got? Who's winning? Who do you think is gonna win that?
Ooh, in terms of like fight potential
Yeah.
or like who I sort of like better.
I mean, okay, so
Either one.
let's do both of them.
Let's
who do you
keep it
like?
real.
Who do you like better? And then, but who do you think's gonna win?
I guess. I mean, I don't know too much about them, but I guess I would say Elon Musk. He seems more honest than Mark Zuckerberg.
He sends people to the moon.
That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then in terms of like physical potential, I mean, Zuckerberg he's practices BJJ regularly.
Right?
and
Okay, so you know
so
he's been.
unless
he's been active.
Elon like really trains for it, like
I'm going for Elon because I want a Tesla one day. Okay.
Yeah.
But
They're
I
pretty.
think Zuckerberg's gonna win because this dude's been going at it.
he's
you
been
know
at
what
it
I
for
mean?
years. Yeah.
Yeah, but I heard George St. Pierre is training Elon Musk.
I like GSP.
So if he can just gain a little bit, a couple of things from him, I don't see why he couldn't beat good old Zuckerberg.
He's taller and he has a longer reach than Zuckerberg, I believe.
Yeah, and he has that big old machine of a body. I don't know what you call it.
He looks like SpongeBob SquarePants.
He's got this like chest that like sticks up. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. He's like SpongeBob SquarePants. Jeez.
So Paige Steakley, it's been a pleasure having you on the Social Plug podcast.
Thank you.
You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us today, talking about fitness, talking about the sacred mask, where we can find you, and you're always providing value to not only your clients but everybody else. So we appreciate you.
Thank you.
For those of you watching, you can find us on the Social Plug podcast, obviously, on Facebook, on Social Plug Media. You can find us on all social media, by the way, including Threads, on Instagram, on Twitter, and even on Snapchat.
Nice.
But you can find us and a lot of our content on socialplugmedia.net. If you want to be a podcast guest, feel free to contact us at 210-643-5169. We'd love to have you. As always, we talk about ordinary people doing extraordinary things. It's been a pleasure having you. It's been a pleasure having Double Shots Sports Bar as our sponsor today. So big shout out to Austin Hanna. We love you guys. We love your staff. So with that said, you are unplugged from the Social Plug podcast, and we'll see you next time.